Hey, how's it going, my friends? Welcome back to the Nerd Life and another Spooktober video. In my last video, I've talked about my top 5 horror games, and in this video, I'm going to talk to y'all about my top 5 favorite horror movies of all time. Let's get into it. I had a pretty rough time making this list because there are just so many great horror movies that I absolutely love. But I started thinking about 5 movies that I watch every October, and I've narrowed them down, and here they are, starting at number 5 with Child's Play 2. Now, in my opinion, this one is the best one out of the original trilogy. I love this movie. Brad Dourif does such an amazing job voicing Chucky. Chucky's even more of a smartass in this movie, which I love. Uh, there's just so many great moments. There's a scene where Chucky's at Andy's school and he kills one of the teachers. Has some really great slasher kills in this movie. I really liked the final scene with the babysitter and Andy ended up at that toy factory with Chucky for the final battle, as you would say. And that is why Child's Play 2 is number 5 on my list. Now, coming in at number 4 is Poltergeist.
They're here.
Now, I remember watching Poltergeist for the first time as a little kid, and it absolutely terrified me. And from the iconic scene where the little girl's in front of the staticky TV and she creepily says, "They're here," to the scene with the clown attacks the little boy, and then towards the end where everything gets chaotic and ends up sucking the little girl into the closet and she ends up going into a different dimension and they have to get her back and shit's flying around the room and I just really love that movie, and I've been watching it ever since I was a young teenager. It has become one of my favorites to watch every October. And if you haven't watched it, which I'm sure a majority, if not all of you, probably have, you need to definitely watch it. It's a great horror movie. Definitely one to watch around this time. Number 3 on my list is Friday the 13th, Part 7. Now, I know what you're thinking probably, like, Part 7, you skipped quite a bit of them, but Part 7 is just my favorite out of the series. Even though it's just as cheesy and campy as all the others. It starts out with Jason being resurrected by a bolt of lightning, of all things. And I just love the way Jason Voorhees looks in this movie. He looks like a freaking beast. He's all zombified and the final girl has like power of telekinesis, which I think threw a lot of fans off. Like maybe they thought that didn't belong in a Friday the 13th movie, but I thought it was freaking cool as hell. And she put up a good fight against Jason too. But man, Jason Voorhees was an absolute beast in this movie. Had so many great kills in this movie. I watch it every October. One of the best movies to me in the series. Just the fact that Jason Voorhees actually has an actual fight with the final girl instead of just the final girl running around trying to survive, which is fine. I just thought it was cool that she actually had like power, like this power telekinesis to like, so she can actually fight against him. If I had to choose between Part 7 and 8, because she's in Part 8 as well, Part 7 is the best because I didn't like the way Part 8 ended. It's like I thought it was like really bad ending. But yeah, Part 7 Definitely, uh, definitely number 3 on my list. And if you haven't watched any of the Friday 13th movies, especially Part 7, go and watch it. It's pretty awesome. Now, these last two, I had a pretty hard time trying to decide what I want to be my number 2 movie and number 1, just like I did with my horror games. I just started thinking about which one that I like more than the other. So, number 2, Halloween, the original. Halloween. Michael Myers, I should say first, is one of my favorite slasher movie villains. He is basically an icon of slasher movies, and this particular movie, the original, the very first one, I mean, you have Michael Myers as a little boy who killed his older sister, and then he gets locked away for years, and he breaks out, and now he's stalking his younger sister, who is played by the legend of slasher movies, Jamie Lee Curtis herself, and she does an amazing job in this movie. Some of y'all may not know this, but she was in quite a few slasher movies in the 70s and 80s, other than just Halloween. But yeah, the fact that he's stalking her through this whole movie, he kills her friends. The iconic scene where he's in her house and she's trying to get away from him and survive, and she's in the closet and he's trying to break in the closet, and I think she cuts him with a wire hanger or something. I think she cuts him with something, but yeah, just that was one scene that stuck out to me. And then of course toward the end where Dr. Loomis comes in and shoots him several times and he falls out the window, and then they go to look out the window, and then they discover that he's gone, and Dr. Loomis does this this crazy reaction to it. He's like, no, no. It's just it's kind of funny, but I love this movie. Like I said, Michael Myers is one of my favorite horror movie killers, and Halloween, definitely a classic. It needs to be watched every October, if not on Halloween itself, which is what I normally do. So now it's time to reveal my favorite horror movie of all time, my number 1, and that is Silver Bullet. A very underrated werewolf movie, in my opinion. It doesn't get talked about a lot, but man, I love this movie ever since I saw it when I was for the first time. I think I was like 10 or 11. My aunt was watching it on TV and happened to come into the living room while she was watching it, and I just sat down and watched it with her. But yeah, Silver Bullet. It's an amazing werewolf movie, amazing horror movie. You got Gary Busey in it. You got Corey Haim. He's basically in a wheelchair in this movie, and his uncle, played by Gary Busey, builds him a motorized wheelchair, all decked out, and it's called the Silver Bullet, and it's just it's a pretty awesome wheelchair, and he's basically riding around in it, and he comes across the werewolf and shoots a firework into his eye and injures him. And throughout most of the movie, you don't know who the werewolf is, and you quickly figure it out after he injures him who it is. And it's just a really amazing movie. And if you all haven't seen it, do yourselves a favor and watch it. It's just so awesome. The like I said, Gary Busey does a great job in this movie. So does Corey Haim. He's pretty young in this movie. I don't know who the actress is that played his older sister, but she was a amazing actress. She did a really great job in that movie as well. Just an iconic werewolf movie, an iconic horror movie. You guys need to see it. But that's it. That is my top 5 horror movies of all time. Let me know in the comment section what your top 5 movies are. Or if you want any channels out there watching this video, if you want to make a video of your own talking about your top 5 horror movies, or your top 10 for that matter, go for it. I would love to see that personally. But anyways, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome day. Take care.